Embracing failure. Failure is inevitable when you do hard shit. And it's a natural consequence of pushing your limits and testing the bounds of your ability. We're taught to have this irrational fear of failure, to measure ourselves by this impossible standard of perfection. And in turn, we often play it safe. So we maximize the likelihood that we're always going to succeed, that we're always going to reach the pretty low standard goals that we've set for ourselves, so we can stay in that zone of comfort. Unfortunately, that's not where growth lives. And I worked that out significantly today. So guys, as you know, some of you know anyway, I broke my rib a bit over a week ago at jiu-jitsu. And I'm also training for a 100-kilometre ultramarathon up Australia's tallest mountain, Mount Kosciuszko, which is literally 7 weeks away now. So I came to tackle the pyramid, which is my local running spot that gives me about a kilometre of elevation, nowhere near the elevation of Mount Kosciuszko. However, my solution to that was to run it twice with broken rib in 30-degree weather with close to 100% humidity. First time was fine. I certainly wasn't as fast as I usually was, but I felt good. I took a break, sorted out my nutrition, my electrolytes, my hydration, and then I went to go again. And, nearly fell. I got halfway up and heart rate was maxed, starting to cramp, feeling the pain in my rib, and I decided to call it. So, what were my options? Well, first option is that I could have let my ego do the talking. I could have kept pushing myself beyond my ability. I could have further injured myself or caused another injury because I slipped and fell or something, which I nearly have face planted a couple of times already today, which is usual for the pyramid. It's slippy, there's lots of trip hazards, and you've got to be on your game, even at the best of times. I could have not bothered. I could have just done it once. I always do it once, and it's not really a challenge anymore because I know that I can finish it. I've done it lots and lots and lots of times, so that challenge is basically presupposed. So the only logical solution is to try my best, but be conscious and aware of my limitations and the circumstances in which I am operating in, and park the ego and do the intelligent thing. So what can I learn from this situation? Well, I think the good thing that I can learn is that I trust in my intuition to be able to look after myself and not do stupid things. On the flip side of that, I need to be mindful that I don't use that as a scapegoat to get myself out of difficult situations when I want to bitch out. I think I need to be mindful of the goals that I set for myself. This 100-kilometre race is very ambitious, and I don't even know, I can't even imagine what it's like to be in pretty much perpetual motion for 20 hours straight, potentially even more. 20 hours is my goal time. If it takes me the cutoff is 28 hours. If it takes me 28 hours, that's what it's going to take. But I'm also mindful that there's a lot of external pressures and factors that are working against me. I'm an amateur runner that's been running since May. I've pushed myself far beyond what's expected for most people. I think the typical standard is people are running for like 2 or 3 years in preparation for a 100-kilometre event. Not to mention one that has that much of altitude and ascension and descension to make it even more challenging. And of course, injuries. This rib is not going to heal quickly, particularly because I'm continuing to put myself under duress, and I'm not really in ideal conditions to allow it to heal. But that's a trade-off that I need to make. So, my question to you is, are you pushing yourself enough? Or are you potentially pushing yourself too hard? How do you recognize the ambitions that you have, whether they're false ambitions, whether they're there to create a sense of certainty and comfort, or do you really need to push the pace? And on the flip side, are you pushing the pace too hard, and are you setting an unrealistic expectation of yourself that potentially is setting you up for more consequence than you might realize? Have a bit of a think about that. Let me know in the comments.